Hello ratbags, it's Jade Plays Games. Welcome to a mini access show. Another one. I'm doing loads of these today because there's so much gaming news. I want to give it all to you in the shortest amount of time. Subnautica was officially announced yesterday. It's getting its official DLC. Now, it's been spoken about for a while. The plans have always been in place to release some DLC for it, but we've got confirmation of what that DLC is, and it looks like we're all going to be wearing lots of warm clothing. So come with me as we discuss everything about the brand new DLC and what's the current state of Subnautica on Xbox One and the PS4. So Subnautica has probably been one of the greatest survival success stories in the last few years. It's got fantastic, overwhelming positive reviews on Steam, and it is loved and enjoyed by millions of players. It did come out on Xbox on the Early Access program, and that access program really didn't do it justice. There were lots of problems during its development, and it's still not out of Early Access even though it's launched on PC a good 7 months ago now. Subnautica has been out of Early Access now, and it has been enjoying lots of little updates, giving it bug fixes and improving technical aspects of it. They've also been working hard on making sure the VR runs really well as well, and so this news that DLC is coming officially is fantastic. So Subnautica's DLC really isn't DLC. Scheduled for release in 2019, I always wondered why a few months ago when I heard about the DLC coming, it was going to be such a long time to be implemented. But it looks like it's more of a spin-off than an actual DLC. It's going to be a standalone expansion Subnautica called Below Zero, set in an icebound region of planet 4546b. It's a really interesting step. I'm not 100% sure I'm down with it. In the coming months, they've announced they'll release an unfinished early version of Below Zero in Early Access. They'll then begin releasing consistent content updates, carefully crafting the game based on your feedback, just like the original Subnautica. They're still working on a lot of stuff. There's lots of concept art which I'm going to show you guys in a second. And obviously the big one from this is you've got this sort of hovercraft vehicle there, which is pretty cool. Now, the guys at Unknown Worlds, the makers of Subnautica, have always been pretty upfront in their development plans. They've always had Trello boards and have been pretty vocal on social media and forums. But I'm really not quite sure I'm down for another early access game, particularly when it's a DLC standalone piece. For me, when you've made it, when you've had that opportunity and you've sold millions of copies of a game, should you really then have to bear with another game being buggy and problematic and kind of just testing it out for developers? I'm sure lots of you will argue that you're just glad to be a part of it, and I've said that before. It's fantastic being part of an early access game because you get to give feedback and you get to change how that game may actually turn out. But when it comes down to DLC, the developers pretty much should know where they want to take the game. And taking on board player feedback is fantastic, but having another 6 months or 9 months of an early access and having problems and not really getting a full scope of that game, I just don't know if I'm really happy with it. Subnautica did spend a good few years in early access, but it did come out and it's got rave reviews. It's sold millions of copies and it's very popular even on Xbox, where it's had substantial problems. During its time on early access on Xbox, it's had various problems, literally making the game unplayable for months on end. They've addressed that many times and have apologised, and they did get a lot better. At one point they were updating the game literally only a couple of weeks after the PC version. But as the PC version came out of early access, Xbox One version was still very much behind, particularly on performance. It had the end game content so you could kind of complete the game, but playing Subnautica on Xbox is not a very good experience. I've tried it many times, I've done many Let's Plays on it. In fact, today, Subnautica is still one of my top 10 videos talking about the game. But overall, the experience during early access on Xbox really just wasn't there. Now, the developers have obviously understood that. They have taken away development themselves and have given it to another company. This same company is going to be porting it over to the PS4 version. So, if you're looking for Subnautica on the PS4, don't worry, it is going to come. Panic Button are the people in charge of porting the game over, and they're going to be finalising and finishing off the Xbox One version. And it definitely needs it. Like I said, the performance just isn't up to scratch on Xbox at the moment, and if it launched like that on the PS4, they would probably see significant negative responses. Panic Room Games are a pretty in-demand games company. They have been porting a load of stuff over to Switch, including projects like Warframe. In the past, they've also ported over Doom, Wolfenstein, as well as Rocket League, and they've got other plans as well in the future too. which does raise up the tantalising prospect of possibly, maybe being able to play your Subnautica game on a Nintendo Switch in the future. Since they've got so much experience as a company doing this for so many games, it really could be something that could happen. Obviously the devs haven't posted any kind of information about that right now, probably not the wisest ideas when the Xbox version is still so broke or not running very well and the PS4 version still hasn't materialised. Nevertheless, it's pretty interesting for me. I think it's pretty cool that we could see a Nintendo Switch version, maybe possibly in the future. Anyway, back to the Xbox version and the PS4 version. As you can see, that is scheduled for this holiday season, and it is going to be available on a physical disc edition by Gearbox. We won't get too much into Gearbox, but they're the people that have published We Happy Few. I honestly really have enjoyed Subnautica every time I've played it, but because I have played it on the Xbox, it just hasn't lived up to the hype that I wanted it to. And yes, I do own it on PC and I could gladly go and complete it on PC, and I have played it and done tutorials or videos using the PC version. But I am a console fanboy at heart, and I just hate to see a game really not shaping up the way it should be on a lesser system just because it is that, a lesser system. There are plenty of games out there that have managed to get their game to be released on all platforms at the same time. So while I'm definitely excited about Subnautica Below Zero, I have got a little bit of apprehension about the fact it's going to be another early access title. Absolutely no information or news about if this will come to Xbox or PS4. I don't fully expect to see this come at all for at least a year. And who knows, it may take that long for them to actually get the brand new expansion out on even Steam. I will keep you guys up to date though. As soon as we get any information about the early access version of Below Zero, I will give it a try and show you guys what it's like at the very beginning. I know a lot of you ratbags really enjoy Subnautica, so I definitely want to show you guys how the updates are performing and how development of the brand new expansion is taking place. And of course, as soon as we get any more information about a concrete date for the PS4 release and what's going on with the Xbox One port, I will let you guys know. If you are a PC person that's really enjoyed Subnautica and you're not that bothered about what happens on console, you may know that Subnautica is being put through the Unity 2018 engine. That has caused some issues, and so it's going to be released on the experimental branch. Once it's stable, that's when it will go live for everyone if you own it on Steam. What you should be interested to know, just like Ark did, when they ported Ark over to console, they found they had lots of optimizations they had to do, and that got transferred back to PC. So in a way, it's fantastic when games do get ported to console, because it means that energy savings in terms of everything you do with performance and optimization can come back to the PC and make the PC version run even better. So if you do want to see what it's like with the brand new engine in place using Unity 2018, go ahead and load up the experimental branch. It may be a while since you've done so, but it will have the optimizations from console, and there's a little bit few more extra bonuses for that version. So to finish off what Below Zero is going to be hopefully looking like, we've got lots of concept art. Now lots of this may change, it may not be final, but the Twitter designers, the graphical designers and the people that make the game have been pretty vocal in the last few months, teasing us with what to expect. The main focus is going to be on being in a cold climate and a harsh environment. They're also talking about how thermals are going to dictate how you play the game, so being too hot and too cold is really going to be important. Does look like the game's going to have massive ice shelves that may overshadow, and obviously lots of caves and exploration. Subnautica is a pretty game when you play it on the right platform, and it does look super cool, maybe going around these big huge ice shards going down into the water. I really like the idea of this one with the thermals coming through. This would be pretty interesting, having to navigate your ship around these areas. Maybe it will take damage from these thermal vents. So, Subnautica Below Zero coming out in early access very soon and a full release at some point next year. Xbox, PS4 versions of Subnautica, the base game, also coming out this holiday. So there we go, Subnautica DLC coming next year. Subnautica has been a fantastic game. I've really enjoyed it when I've got to play it. Unfortunately, I've always kind of played it just on Xbox One, so I've really never really fulfilled its potential, seeing how good it could look graphically and how well optimised it might be on PC. Be interesting to really see how far it's come along and what the actual final release is going to be like for console and particularly for PS4. Don't forget there is no PSVR for Subnautica. They're not making any virtual reality style game of it. That is strictly only for Steam. As ever, I'm going to start keeping you guys up to date more and more about the brand new DLC that's coming out. I'll give you any little bit of update about what's going on with Xbox One and PS4. So make sure you've got notification bells on, make sure you subscribe, make sure you liked, and come and join our Discord to keep up to date with everything early access news. I am Jade Plays Games. I will see you rat bags for another mini access show very soon.